Hi, Sean here again with another instant classic from Start Strong Monday. The other day during a radio interview, I was asked a great question about how strict do I think someone needs to follow a diet? And what do I feel about cheat days? My answer? I believe that the strictness of a person's diet should be directly correlated to that person's relationship with food. If you look at it as a continuum, over on the left over here, you've got an addiction. Food as an addiction. Food as a source of pleasure. Food is a very unconscious behavior practice. Over here in the far right of the continuum, you've got freedom. I call it nutritional freedom. Food as a source of fuel for life. This is what I talk a lot about in Strength for Life. Now, if you look at discipline, the degree of discipline, we'll call that the big D. Over here on the left, if I'm still at a position where I'm unconscious about what I'm eating, if I'm feeding my emotions or I'm feeding cravings or I've really created an addictive relationship with food, at first my discipline's got to be very high. I need to start with very, very strict structure, hence the reason why we have dietary guidelines or diets. But the more I develop my awareness, the more I become connected to my food, the less and less discipline and structure is involved in it. Ultimately, more accurately, when you get down to nutritional freedom, over here, you're really eating the foods that fuel your life, that make you feel the best effortlessly. That's because that's the way you do life. That's the way you eat. You're not relying on any of the big D. You're not relying on discipline. So over here, it's all about freedom. The freedom comes in. So there's no risk this person or someone over here is going to go off with a 12 hot dog binge at the baseball game. It's not going to happen. So as your discipline decreases, as your relationship with food moves over here out of the darkness and into the light, so we'll call this, the light of awareness. No, I can't really write with this pen. I know it's kind of funny, but if I talk about it and I put the big letter like that, then you know what I'm saying, right? So the answer to how disciplined someone's diet needs to be, how disciplined your diet needs to be, is directly correlated to what is your relationship with food and where are you on this continuum? Are you somewhere here in the middle? If you're over here eating food freely, that doesn't mean you don't eat, quote unquote bad foods or other foods, but you don't do it from a place of the unknown. You don't do it from the darkness. You make a choice, you understand it, you feel how they impact. And the question then would be, what moves you from over here to over here? The simple exercise I teach in Strength for Life called the cravings to consumption to freedom. C to F to freedom. And I've got a link on here. You can see that. I've talked about that in my videos and some of the other pieces, so I'll tell you a little more on that in a minute if you want to follow the link, or of course you can read chapter 12 in Strength for Life, which I get into in great detail. But I hope that answers your question. I thought it was a great question and a great way to look at the whole structure of discipline, because ultimately diets don't last forever, but freedom does. I'll see you next week. Have a great 4th of July and enjoy your food freely with awareness.